Going live, going live. Johnny 5 is alive. Once again, everybody, thank you for stopping by. I want to thank everyone who's been uh, subscribing, watching, sharing, commenting, all that beautiful YouTube stuff. No matter when you have come across Tully Television, I'm glad that you have decided to stay. I hope I find you in good spirits for the night. Hope that I can bring a little bit of entertainment to you. Just let me know if you can hear me or not down below, because sometimes I'm not sure if this microphone picks up or not properly. It looks like it is, but yeah, thank you. It's been a while since I've been able to get on to do a stream as of the last few weeks. It's been dealing with sicknesses, and the last few months have been a little tough here at the Tully television abode, but we're trying to always, move forward and drudge through it. But like I said, I want to thank you all for stopping by. Um, as we get back into doing streams on a weekly basis, I want to try to um, keep this first one limited to under an hour because in a couple weeks I'm going to be probably back into doing longer streams because I want to try to at least get a couple hours in of a stream with you guys during WrestleMania weekend because they're going to split it up into two nights. So while they're doing that, uh, that bit one of the bigger matches for that is the Brock Lesnar Bobby Lashley match, and I might the night that I stream that I might stream later into the event, so then or just maybe I'll do the whole event that night too. I'm not sure, but at least it'll by that time it'll be within me being back into the swing of getting a couple hours in through that with you guys and try to have a good time with that WrestleMania weekend. But this week, I wanted to talk about a few things that came out and a couple of trailers and just add ons to trailers that have been released, movies that have been released, comic books that I recently got finished reading or had recently gotten and finished reading. I just wanted to show you guys what I was currently reading. This first one is Symbiote Spider Man. This one was given to me by Jordan, actually, the guest I've had on occasion here on Tully Television. He had been gracious enough to give me this bad boy after he was done. And this was kind of like a hidden story of when he had the black costume initially, and that Mysterio had been able to get a piece of the symbiote, and he wound up teaming up with the Kingpin and some other villains, and at one point he even had a symbiote Mysterio suit, which let me find because that did look pretty fly overall. And this was around the time where uh, Aunt May wasn't talking to him too much, and Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat, was trying to uh, get with him or was with him. That's how the Mysterio symbiote costume looked, and I thought that looked pretty nice. Um, so they kind of made Mysterio a contender here, and I think that was due to probably this coming out around the time that Far From Home was coming out, and then There's like a variant covers at the end where they show different covers that variant covers. So this was an interesting story. If you like Mysterio and Spider-Man stories, you like that one. If you like the concept of Mysterio, if you like the black suited Spider-Man um, during that time period, it is canon. It is part of the canon now, and interesting take on how the symbiote would bond with Mysterio, and yeah, give it a go, worth a go. And now these comics I've gotten over the last excuse me, last couple a month, like last couple months. I've shown some of these, but this one I'm going to start where the story started for this particular story arc, and let's get started. Spider-Man. Again, I kind of want to try to get uh, as many of these old school Avenger stories as I can. It's basically Nebula coming back and uh, causing problems for the Avengers and trying to take over uh, the universe, basically. And it starts with Avengers number 314 and runs all the way up to 318. And again, also a running subplot to this was Spider-Man helping the Avengers out. This was before he was considered for the Avengers team before, but was considered not a good addition at the end of the day, and kind of the same thing here. Uh, when they finally defeated Nebula, um, Captain America realized that Spider-Man wasn't necessarily ready for Avengers level threats and Avengers level missions. That Spider-Man is more for protecting the streets of New York, or more importantly, the street level of every citizen of the world. But primarily, he is a Queens boy after all, and a city boy, so he protects New York City and the boroughs, and has been known to kind of be more of a street level superhero as opposed to a cosmic level or a global level superhero like Captain America, who's fought world wars, Iron Man, who's been a technological genius and philanthropist, those type of things. Peter Parker is known to be smart, but not. He's just not known on a wider scale. Especially at that time, where again he was more known for street level events. Um, Way before the Spider Verse and multiverse of that stuff was happening, and all that interesting stuff. So, again, if you like old school Avengers stories, of old school 80s, late 80s, mid 80s, early 90s, they kind of call it the copper age of comic books. Um, Give those a read. I don't really get a chance to go to a comic book shop in person so much. I have to do a lot of ordering through eBay, but I get happy when I do, because I also got a couple of issues um, of an earlier run from uh, issue like 294, 295 of the Avengers 2, like, and kind of trying to build outwards both ways to kind of again get that first initial run of Avengers, and I know that's going to be super hard to do, but it's a fun goal to try to achieve as a hobby, and something that I can pass down to my son and have him look back at these things with fondness and realize uh, this is how the entertainment he's been known to like the MCU and DC movies. These are where some of these stories have begun. Excuse me, guys, with the coughing. My throat's still a little dry from the whole sinuses thing I was going through. Another thing I wanted to talk about tonight, um, but before I do, let me know what some of your old favorite comic books were back from the 80s and 90s. I also liked the X-Men comic books a lot. I used to have almost, I would say, I was really big into the X-Men when I was in the prime of collecting comic books, of uh, going to like having grab bags, having back issue pulls and stuff like that, and collecting the limited series that would come out in conjunction with the titles, and collecting when every book had to be connected in some sort of way. These long 16, 17 part stories like the Executioner Song and stuff and such. Um, those stories were pretty fun. But recently watched the Miss Marvel trailer. And I'll be honest with you guys about it. Um, it looks visually like it's using fantastic cameras and stuff such. Uh, Technically, it's going to be shot really well. Disney and Marvel don't really play around too much when it comes to um, like shooting or having. It's going to be shot well. It's going to be shot with the best cameras and the best film available to that budget. After you do the actors and directors and crew and such, but I don't really think I'm going to be watching that series too much, and I'll explain why here. I really don't think that I'm the demographic for that particular series. It reminds me of it reminds me of what basically I heard people refer to it as a CW show. I've heard people refer to it as like Riverdale with superpowers, but it kind of reminds me of The Secret Life of the American Teenager show that was out many years ago. Oh, God, that was out forever ago because I remember that my brother and sister were still living with me when that show was really popular. We would watch that show, and it was funny. Ricky was the guy that just had all the ladies fawning over him. It was funny. Um, it all started in band camp, I think. Oh my gosh, she was right about band camp. Uh, Type in she was right about band camp down below. But yeah, I don't think that the show is really for me. It does remind me of like a teenager show or a young adult show, and that's fine, I guess, because you want to bring in some of these uh, younger audiences to grow into adult audiences, because the adult audience that you have is always going to cycle through just due to humans not living forever. So you're going to have built an audience somewhere. And if you have franchise that older people are familiar with and they pass it down to their children, then at least you can have those children be nostalgic about that and build on that nostalgia when they grow up. But yeah, and then to hear her say that, yeah, maybe there's not many Muslim girls that are superheroes. I can think of uh, a couple that were probably from the Middle East. I know, man, there was this X Men character from many uh, years ago in the X Men titles that was like a Jewish superhero, and she female, and yeah, I mean, there's always been some sort of diversity. Like Storm, it wasn't like born and raised in America. She was initially raised in a country in Africa, and so initially she's African. Some of these other Kitty Pride, she has again. I mean, maybe okay, it's not a Muslim background, but Kitty Pride herself is of the Jewish faith, and she is popular and well respected superhero. Misty Knight is again a superhero, a woman of color that can be used as an example. There's a lot of uh, superheroes, male and female, that have been of color and have been different faiths, ethnicities, and such. And I never really got lately these last few years about not inclusive, where that was the whole point of that whole new X Men team that replaced the original X Men team. It was a whole group of diverse people. I mean, it was Banshee was Irish, Storm was from Africa, Peter was from Russia, uh, Nightcrawler again was from Europe, Germany, and such. So Sunfire was from Japan. Apache was a Native American, um, or of people that were born here, descendants of them. So that team was really diverse, and I don't know, but I mean, I'm not saying again that this Miss Marvel show isn't going to uh, be enjoyable for other people. People got mad that they switched her powers up, and I think that's for the better because she has these like elasticity powers in the comic books, and she doesn't really use them other than to make her hands really big and punch out the enemies and stuff, and that's fine. But like Reed Richards uses his powers in such more unique ways, and you would think that Kamala would, learn from that and research how to use her powers a little bit more. But they don't really seem to want to develop that character too much because her comic books have always gotten reboots. Hasn't been long lasting. Comics in the comic industry today seems to think that number one issues sell a lot, and it's a boost just because again it's a number one. But how many number ones of a series can you have before they lose value? Like how many Captain Marvel number ones can you have, or number one Miss Marvels, or even number one Thors? How many number one Thors can you have before it's like, geez, Louise? Um, that's why I've always been big on the legacy numbering of comic books, and they do that now, where they would say, like the current Thor comics, it would be up to 745 or something like that. Avengers recently just celebrated its 750th issue out. It's just not consecutive, but that's what it would have been if it was consecutive. The 750th issue published. They should have, some of the books, I think they should have just left the numbering alone, um, because comic book readers aren't stupid. They understand it's a continuation of the story that's previously have come before it, and we understand when you're trying to reboot or redo the status quo without having to do a number one, because it diminishes. Uh, I think it diminishes the title a little bit, and that's why I like really trying to get these older books, because it's really not so much about uh, it's investing not so much in a value over time financially, but investing into a value of having something that's not going to ever be around again in the comic industry, as far as the real anticipation of the next issues coming out, the anticipation of the countdown of when you know certain milestones would be coming, especially when you're dealing with issues that are in the hundreds of issues, like two, three, 400 issues, where it's like this is now really wonderful to see this stretch go, and how much further can we build upon this history, this lore of this character, and we never really had to change the characters. We would all we really had to do is just some of the change some of the characters' motivations to leave and do their own thing. So then, like in these team books, you can introduce newer characters and build up on them, and build that way, make characters that way that you want to see, instead of taking something that is never meant to be that way, and you want to contort it into something that's not. In say a Batman comic book, right? There's was going to be times where Bruce Wayne couldn't be Batman, and it's okay to continue the Batman numbering. Let's say when he, for instance, when his back was broken and Jean Paul took over, they didn't reboot Batman into Batman number one. They continued Batman 666 and so forth, because that was around the time those issues were going on. And it showed that you can have a character at the mantle of, say, a Batman or a Captain America, and still have Steve Rogers be involved in the book, or still have Bruce Wayne involved in the book. It gives them something to grow on and to fight back, and to reclaim the title they disavowed or was taken from them, to because they're the only ones that can really be those heroes, and it's okay to not have to reboot everything every time, because you can build new characters while still holding on to the old characters and how they were. Um, but yeah, that's my feelings on Miss Marvel. I'm just gonna avoid watching that because it's really not for me. I feel if you want to watch, more power to you. I'm not here to, um, you know, tell you to watch it, not watch it. But yeah, so Doctor Strange, I'm kind of excited for still. Uh, I know that's coming out soon, and I've been thinking about the Professor X and the Illuminati and who's going to be involved with that. And you'd probably have some sort of variant of somebody that we know or I feel like we're gonna have a variant of someone that we've never seen before, like a Reed Richards or a character like that, and then or a different version of Black Panther. I think also, like for me, it would be really interesting to see Michael B. Jordan, Black Panther, on the Illuminati team with Professor X. I don't really care if he is from the my. I don't really care if he's from the Fox universe or not. It doesn't really affect me the way if that variant is from that universe or not. Most likely he is because, you know, that's probably the whole point of that to somehow connect that universe to ours. And I'm really curious in how they're going to bring the mutants in because if you bring, if the universe somehow merges with this one, uh, does that change the X Men and how they fundamentally look, how they fundamentally have their power sets altered or not? Uh, their age, are they going to be, so if, for example, Professor Xavier is the Professor Xavier currently uh, in that timeline of X Men, and that universe merges with the MCU's one, is it going to make him coming out looking like James McAvoy? You know what I mean? Where you can kind of de-age him back, have a Professor Xavier, have these mutants uh, come back, and not maybe recast everyone from that first class thing, but I think James McAvoy did do a great Charles Xavier for the most part. I do like his acting, and I feel like with uh, better writers and what have you at Disney and Marvel, maybe that can be a little bit better. Even so, even more so, really sink his chops into it. So I'm just kind of curious, uh, if that's how that's going to work out. You also wonder if there's going to be a Reed Richards variant, and some people think that might be John Krasinski, and that could be an interesting thing. Would that be an indication that he's going to be in the MCU? We do know that the Fantastic Four are coming, but how? Uh, Even though that's a personal subject that no one should even know how they're coming. No, but you know, just curious about who's going to be on this Illuminati team because it's pretty much, I think, going to be uh, Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch, and something happens, and they get Strange and need him to cooperate and fix things. So, and I think that in exchange, they're gonna make him join the Illuminati team, and in the near the end, take a spot, and maybe take a spot of someone who was on the team and died. You can have the freedom of bringing in a variant of an Iron Man, or a variant of a Captain America, or a variant of any other character. You can even bring in a variant of Hank McCoy. I guess technically he was on the Illuminati Black Bolt. Namor. Um, any of these people, even people that you may not expect I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm pretty excited about that. Uh, Spider-Man: No Way Home was released digitally recently. Uh, we're thinking about renting it, but I do want to buy the Blu-ray in the long run due to I want some of those deleted scenes that was unaired in the theater, and want to kind of see. Uh, they're gonna have some sort of the making of or something with that. I would really hope so. Uh, have a ton of extras to that. That would be really dope. And so I might hold off onto that. Off, might hold off until then uh, to get the Blu-ray. Netflix has been piquing my interest a lot lately, and I know Netflix is a bunch of bums with the pricing. And recently, they've been wanting to charge you extra for sharing your password, say with your family or what have you. I think that's pretty lame. So, say you want to give your old dad and mom your Netflix password, right? You set it up for them. Like, yeah, mom, I'm setting it up for you where you just go and you watch a movie or whatever. They want to charge you extra for giving them the password to that, and that's kind of lame because, first of all, how would they even know if let's just say I'm signed in also at my sister's house or my brother's house, uh, because they don't necessarily watch anything on it, but uh, they let me sign into my account so I can show them a show or a movie that I watched recently. And so, I mean, then how would they know from that point on it's not me there as opposed to my home? I mean, I guess the only way they could really tell is if they sign into the profile from their device, and then I'm signed in on my end, so they might be able to tell that way, I guess. But I don't know. I think that's pretty lame to try to charge people for that. But I wanted to check out Texas Chainsaw Massacre on there. I recently seen Harder They Fall off of Netflix. That was a few weeks back. That was really an excellent movie. And then a movie I recently reviewed also off of Netflix with Sandra Bullock, where she got out of jail because she took uh, the blame of someone getting shot off of her sister. Like, instead of the sister getting in trouble, she took the blame. That movie was pretty interesting. Eesh. Um, yeah, that's been about it. That's really about it. I'm thinking about doing a couple more videos in the next couple days to send off to Tim. He's been busy with work and such. I've been busy with recovering from not feeling well, so he has a couple that I sent him, and then I'm going to do a retro blast of a movie that I recently was reminded of, and it's a wonderful movie. It stars Bill Murray and Richard Dreyfuss, and it's called What About Bob? And it it's a hilarious movie. I am pretty convinced I'm gonna rewatch that and do a review on that in the next few days. And then I want to start this new Nightcrawler um, story with issue 7 of the series that I've been doing that came out in 2004. I have the link up of the last one I did, issue 6, in the chat here. If you want to check that out, but in the next couple days, I'm going to do issue 7 of that too. And that's pretty much what I've been up to, what I've been uh, thinking about doing. I want to thank everyone again for being around and just giving us a chance here. I feel like we're a very underrated channel here. I feel like we have a lot of potential to uh, not only have entertain you, but to entertain you in the future. And I hope that we've been doing a great job of that. Let me know down below of any movies you'd like me to review, any movies you'd like for me to do a watch along to, maybe. I've been wanting to do video games. I have an idea of maybe doing Sims 4 or Call of Duty Vanguard. So let me know down below too what you'd like to see me play out of those two or both of them. Maybe with The Sims, we can make a little neighborhood and make a soap opera out of it or something, something silly like that. I think that would be pretty interesting. The possibilities are endless, guys. We're just here to uh, make our claim to fame by being entertainers to you on the other side of the camera there, the other side of the screen. And we really hope that, again, we can uplift your spirits, even if it's for a few moments. Uh, as always, thank you for stopping by Tully Television. I'm Bart. Down in the description box, I have left my editor's Facebook link. If you do need any editing needs, he really is the guy to go to. He really takes his time and effort to really find a great way to present our content to everyone, and really has an invested interest in making our channel grow. And I hope that that comes across, and I hope that you guys have the same vested interest because we certainly do. Again, I want to thank everyone for stopping by. We're going to come by next Saturday, 7 p.m. And then I'm thinking that the following weekend is WrestleMania weekend. So I'm definitely going to be doing those streams then. But yeah, I just want to again thank everyone for stopping by. Those were my thoughts on some of the things that were coming out. I've yet to see the Batman. I haven't gotten the chance to. I've been wanting to, so I'm holding off on talking about that at the given moment because I know pretty much what happens, but I usually like to at least visually watch the movie too and see how that comes along because you can know what's going to happen, but until you can see something and interpret the information yourself. Uh, because everyone can like a movie and you can, right? It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We're going to see if Mr. Pabon can come over for the weekend for the wrestling. I wonder if anyone will do some sort of tribute for Scott Hall with like an outfit or something at WrestleMania. I think that would be pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I want to see Batman. I think that I'm feeling a little bit better. Uh, so maybe I can try to aim to go next week with the family to see El Batman and see how that works. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's so I'll probably try to see Batman next week, and then I'll be able to talk about it then. Yeah, I know the Batman looks really good. That's why I've been holding off on talking anything about it because I know uh, I really want to be able to have a fair assessment of it. It seems really interesting. I don't think I think it didn't do too well in China for some reason. I don't know exactly why it didn't do well in China. I thought from what I was hearing here in the American audience and some of the European audience, they really liked it. I don't think it's going to make the money that Spider Man made. Um, I knew that movie was going to be $1 billion. I knew this movie was going to make some money, but not $1 billion. And I don't even think Doctor Strange is going to make $1 billion. I think he's going to probably make about 700, maybe 800,000, 800 million, but not a billion. I'm not too sure when the next $1 billion movie is coming, but uh, I don't think this is going to do it. It might do it over time, like with DVDs and such, but not in the box office alone. Same thing with Doctor Strange. I think between DVDs and movie rentals and stuff and things like that, it'll be $1 billion. But Spider Man was $1 billion right off the gate. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, so hopefully we'll see Batman next week, and I can give my official review on that. That will come next week. Fingers crossed. But in the meantime, I will definitely be doing the recording of that Retro Blast, the next Nightcrawler issue, and I'll think of some stuff for the next week's stream to talk about on top of the Batman movie. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. It really means a lot. Means the world to me. Uh, for stopping by, and until next time, peace, Nookums.